programs. So they have to pay out of pocket, which already is a big barrier to them. So it affects them financially long term also.
Okay. Now, if someone, the community or a family has someone who is affected by cervical cancer, how can they be able to support them? Apart from now the doctor's support and the medical support, how can they be able to maybe support them apart from maybe putting away the myths that maybe this is a cancer that affects their genitals? And you know, there are very many issues that when it comes to a woman having an issue with their genitals, how can they be able to support such a patient?
The family does play a big role, or the community that is around the woman affected, they do play a big role in supporting this woman through the journey. And one of them is by removing the shame or the stigmatization that this woman is likely to face. So once they come in, if offer emotional support, that is by offering even community help groups, the woman feels comforted and she feels that she's not alone in this entire journey. So the emotional aspect must be addressed by removing this stigma that the woman is likely to face. Next is even coming in through finances and also helping the woman on the same. And then there's the bit about help groups for cancer survivors who have been through the journey before. They're able maybe to share cases on what they went through when they were fighting this disease. And maybe they can come as a whole and a community and help each other out by talking out the disease as a group.
And just a quick one, Daktari, does lifestyle choices may be concerning, especially about family planning or an history about abortion? Does it affect, or is it a risk to someone getting cervical cancer? Especially when it comes to the long-term use of family plannings and abortion issues.
Maybe for the aspect of abortion, there's no direct linkage, because I'm trying to look at it in terms of how in abortion, is there any way that this woman can maybe acquire the HPV infection? Because the only way the cervical cancer can develop is once a HPV infection has gotten into the cervix and has affected those cervical cells. Same goes for use of contraceptives. There's no direct linkage yet.
So it doesn't really, they do not really relate.
Yes.
Okay, and now coming to the myths and the misconceptions behind cervical cancer, are there some that can be true?
There's a reason why myths are called myths, because nobody knows if they are true or not. But research has been done, and there are facts out there on how HPV infection is spread, how it's prevented, how the cervical cancer can be screened and treated. And the information is already available in the internet, and anyone has the capacity or the will to go and research for themselves. And if they have any myth or misconception in their mind, they can always inquire it from a healthcare professional. And we're also always here to help out and listen to you and maybe demystify these specific myths and misconceptions that you might be having about this particular disease.
So it can never be a witchcraft. We've heard from Daktari himself saying that myths are myths and facts are always going to remain facts. Research has been done and everything is always out. And it's a good thing even that most facilities, health facilities, and the government in itself have formed drives to educate people, even in the rural population, about cervical cancer, about breast cancer, and any other type of cancer. And now, Daktari, well, we come to wrap up because I see time is really moving fast. Kenya has recently strengthened its cervical cancer screening programs. How accessible are these programs to the rural women in Kenya?
In terms of linkages, initially there was a big disparity in that the services for cervical cancer screening, cervical cancer testing, it was only available in the referral facilities or even level 5 facilities or specific private facilities. But with various programs, there are certain drives that target the population that is at risk. And once women that have been found to have maybe have a precancerous lesion or at risk, they're usually linked up with these specific specific referral facilities early enough. To get proper treatment for the same.
That is very nice of the government and these health facilities. Do you think there is a role that men can play in preventing and maybe awareness of cervical cancer?
Yes, men do play a big role because men are the gatekeepers of the society. We tend
true.
to make the big choices in the family, and apparently whatever men say, that's what goes in the family. So men are encouraged to be advocates for their women in their lives, be it their daughters, be it their wives, be it their aunties, in openly discussing these issues in the family. There is no role of stigmatizing any woman or any female that is having any abnormal symptoms and they want to shun it away. So they can be big advocates in encouraging their women in their lives to go for screening, to encourage those who are eligible for vaccination to go for vaccination also. So you can also encourage your children to maybe have the HPV vaccination done. And then they can also offer emotional support by walking with them through the journey if they have already been diagnosed with cervical cancer, and not like shunning them or leaving them alone.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. But then again, apart from men, there are women who are aware about cervical cancer, are aware about the causes and the risk factors that they are facing to maybe getting cervical cancer. What do you tell the women who have never been screened before? Thank you so much. And then now, as a wrap-up, what is your biggest hope for women's health in the fight against cancer?
My biggest hope is women and maybe the society at large to be very proactive in embracing the primary prevention strategies put in place and also the secondary prevention strategies put in place by our healthcare providers, our healthcare facilities, and even the government as a whole.
Yeah. We know that this is something that can be eradicated completely because it can be prevented, and I'm pretty sure, like Dr. said, everyone wants to live a healthy, long life. So we have to stick on the preventive measures before we come to the treatable measures. But Dr. before we wind up, maybe you can give us your closing remarks about the entire cervical cancer.
Okay. Remember, cervical cancer, it's a curable disease if detected early. Feel encouraged to visit us at Bosongo Hospital for most of these ancillary services, be it cancer screening, be it HPV vaccination, and even linkage to an oncologist for those already detected to have cervical cancer. You are welcomed, and our doors are open to cater for your needs.
Thank you so much, Dr. for touching about the screening and the services that you can offer to screening, diagnosing, and managing cervical cancer. But to all the women here, outside here, remember we have said and we have emphasized that cervical cancer is something that can be prevented, and I still say ni heri kuzuia kuliko kutibu. That is what we normally say. Prevention is better than cure, and it can be prevented. So these are things that we can try to avoid having multiple sexual partners, avoid having many things that we said, Dr. mentioned earlier during the prevention awareness. And this is something that the government in itself has been creating a lot of drives in cervical cancer awareness and every other type of cancer awareness. This has been Afya Yetu. My name is Chemutai Kirui, and tonight we have been having Brian, who is a doctor and an oncologist from Bosongo Hospital. Until next time, have a good night. Being healthy is a strive everybody longs for. Human beings will spend their time online searching remedies for conditions challenging them. Some will go to medical facilities seeking medical help, while others will use herbal means to keep their health hazards. I am Chemutai Kirui, and every week on Afya Yetu, we open the doors for life-changing conversations from wellness and nutrition, preventing diseases, managing chronic illnesses, and even mental health. We bring expert advice, real-life stories, and practical solutions that touch every part of your life. Join me, Chemutai Kirui, on Ndizi TV Africa Afya Yetu Health Show every Friday from 7:30 to 8:30 p.m. and be part of the change.
Unatazama Ndizi TV Afrika.
Je, wewe ni mmiliki wa aina ya gari aina ya Alto Probo